The following episode is explicit and is intended for mature audiences. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, it's Nathaniel Avila reporting from Dallas County, and I'm here with
Clara Avila, also reporting from Dallas County.
What are we doing today?
What?
What are we doing today?
Well, today is the third episode. Yes, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Don't roll your eyes.
No, I didn't roll my eyes.
Yes,
I just blinked very slowly.
No, you didn't. You didn't even close your eyelids.
Okay, how did I do it?
You did this.
Okay, what are we doing?
Okay. This is the third episode of our podcast, Devil in the Details. The Devil in the Details.
Right.
The Devil in Details.
Yep.
Where we talk about Hazbin Hotel and Helluva.
Yeah.
And this episode, we are going to be discussing what, Nathaniel?
Well, we're going to be talking about Baxter.
That's right. We're going to be talking about the character Baxter.
Yeah, mainly because of Vivzi's announcement in Comic-Con that Baxter will be introduced as a major character within the canon.
That's right. So, very exciting time for all of you longtime fans of Hazbin Hotel. As some of you may know, Baxter was in fact meant to be a main character along with the rest of the group, as shown in different art pieces, as well as some things on Vivzi's YouTube channel that show off an old version of Baxter's character design.
Yeah, let's see what translates between this the unofficial canon,
The unofficial canon,
into the actual official canon within the show.
True official canon.
Because I believe originally Baxter was supposed to be a love interest for Nifty.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he was.
All right.
So let's go back in time. Let's start.
Yes, let's go. Let's travel back to the beginnings of the creation of Baxter.
Well, I'm going to start with like what's going on within the in-universe stuff.
My apologies. We're going to be talking about what's going on in universe.
In universe, or within the unofficial stuff, because we don't know anything about the official one. So, okay, so we're gonna go back to the 1910s, right?
Yes, the 1910s.
All right. So a bunch of German scientists decided it was a good idea to play mad scientist in their top secret lab. Their big brainwave, Clara? To clone their late genius colleague using, of all things, an anglerfish.
Ooh.
So, yeah, they figured since humans and fish share the same distant relatives, why not create a human anglerfish hybrid?
Sure, truly nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. So they took this new anglerfish species, supercharged evolution like it was a video game, and poof, Baxter was born. Well, more like pieced together, Clara.
Yeah.
He was half the size of a human with pretty fishy features. They even slapped the dead scientist's brain into this guy and zapped him with all sorts of electric shocks. Hoping he'd wake up and say, "Good morning, world." Spoiler, he did not.
No. Try to do it a la Frankenstein's monster.
Right. Okay, so after a few months of being treated like a science experiment gone wrong, Baxter woke up and, let's say, he wasn't in the mood for a friendly chat, Clara. He went full berserker, taking out the scientist like a fish out of water, literally. So those who weren't turned into fish food ran for their lives, leaving Baxter to stew in his fishy rage. Stuck in the lab and pretty ticked off about his whole existence, Baxter decided he needed a fresh start, so using his newly acquired super brain, he built a portal to another dimension. He scavenged parts, did some creative, quote-unquote, experiments on the leftover scientists, and finally, the portal was ready, and it was his golden ticket out of the sci-fi horror show.
Woohoo.
So just when Baxter thought he could make his great escape, a recovery team showed up to check out the mess. With the lab's lockdown lifted, Baxter grabbed his portal and made a mad dash through the sewers. But because fate has a twisted sense of humor, a surge of water swept him and his precious portal away. Baxter, being part anglerfish, survived the wild ride, but the portal started sinking into the riverbed. Desperate, he drove in to save it, but his human side couldn't handle the depths, and in the end, the river won, pulling him down and giving him the sweet release of peace the only way he could, in death.
So dramatic.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
What do I
about Baxter's life on Earth?
think about this? It's certainly a very interesting story with the whole his colleagues decided to use him as an experiment to try and figure out their cloning thing. Very unethical.
Yeah. I personally kind of don't like it. Because I like the idea that, like, Baxter is just a regular sinner demon.
Right?
And not, like, an experiment gone wrong.
I think it's kind of like... I definitely didn't expect the whole, like... Oh, he's actually for real part anglerfish in real life. Because... Yeah. Also, it is really interesting because this implies that this clone has a soul.
Yeah. And it also implies that the actual scientist is somewhere out there in the afterlife.
In the afterlife, unless they somehow manage to actually bring back his actual soul into the clone's body. But unless that's the case, it doesn't really make sense in terms of, there's the clone Baxter and then actual Baxter's somewhere.
Yeah, I personally think that out of the things that Vivji should include in season 2, I don't think this should be one of them.
Yeah, I think that maybe some reworking should be done. Wouldn't it be really funny though if Baxter's actual soul, like the actual human, was like in heaven, but the clone soul is in hell because it's like an abomination?
I guess.
What do you mean you guess? I think that'd be pretty interesting.
That is not his fault, though. But he did kill a lot of people.
Yeah, but, like, he did kill a bunch of people at that part.
Right. All right, so let's go talk about what his personality is like. Okay. So he's like a classic mad scientist, complete with a brash exterior, a penchant for calling everyone else idiots. Mm-hmm. So mixed with a bit of awkwardness and cowardice. His ego... massive.
Big ol' ego.
Now, Baxter thinks science is the best thing since sliced bread, and he's not shy about flaunting his god complex. He'll tell you that he's Dr. Baxter, or Captain Baxter. And you better not forget it, Clara. What?
But isn't he a doctor? Because he's a scientist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he demands you to call him that.
But he demands... Well, yeah. A lot of doctors do, so...
So, despite his inflated ego and terrible manners, Baxter can actually be a bit nerdy and empathetic guy underneath. He uses his brashness to cover up his insecurities and is awkward and genuine with friends like Nifty and Sir Pentious. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
However, Baxter refuses to engage with most of the other Hazbin hotel residents, always claiming he's too busy with his experiments. He's got a cruel streak, especially towards his underlings, Crimini, who is a hyena lady.
Yes, Crimini.
And Squish. You know Squish, right?
I don't know Squish.
You're a fake fan.
Sorry.
I think Squish is like a Hellborn thing.
Some kind of Hellborn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But he treats those two like disposable lab rats.
Ah, of course.
Now, Baxter's got a nihilistic and cynical view of the world, and he crumbles at the slightest hint of trouble. He's always trying to rope others into his dangerous experiments without their consent, believing that he's the smartest person in any room.
Yeah, of course. Like, why would he need their consent when it's going to be 100% successful? Duh.
Okay. Why does he have a lore when he's a guy?
Can you say that again?
Why does he have a lore when he's a guy?
I knew that was going to come up. It's most likely for the fact that because that part of an anglerfish is the most recognizable. However, that is an attribute that only female anglerfish have. Mm-hmm. So who's to say? My idea is that it's probably just a design choice.
I think it's just a design choice for Vivzy saying like this is an anglerfish
guy. Like if you were to be like, here's a man, he is also an anglerfish, you wouldn't be able to tell that because male anglerfish aren't as visually interesting as female anglerfish. And it's not as well known. The female anglerfish are the ones, like when you say anglerfish, you think of a female anglerfish with the lure and the big old chompers.
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that was in Finding Nemo.
Yes, that is what was in Finding Nemo, the female anglerfish. So it likely doesn't have anything to do with the character other than it's simply a design choice to let you know that he is part anglerfish.
Mm-hmm. All right, so so his paranoia makes him think that everyone's out to steal his ideas, right? Now he lives in his own bubble of crazy genius. Originally, Baxter was a recluse, avoiding social interactions like the plague and hiding away in his lab. After years stuck in purgatory with his only unsociable assistant and robot, minions, he started craving test subjects. I mean company. So when some of the Hazbin hotel crew accidentally wandered into his lab, Baxter was over the moon. Not because he wanted friends, because he saw new opportunities for experimentation.
Yeah, exactly.
Baxter is like a gremlin with zero filter, constantly spewing rude comments and crossing all sorts of personal boundaries. He once tried to experiment on Husk just to study his supernatural luck. Now Squish, stuck under Baxter's thumb, endured endless experiments and even torture, with Baxter claiming that it's all in the name of science. Now he's blissfully unaware of Crimini's misery and often ignores or alienates others with his over-the-top behavior. Now he loves to stir the pot, often picking fights and refusing to admit when he's wrong. He had a major meltdown when Sir Pentious joined the hotel, going out of his way to undermine his former lab partner. By the way, in this unofficial, Sir Pentious and Baxter were lab partners.
Yes, in this unofficial canon.
Yeah. This decanonized
lore.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the unofficial lore, that's what I was thinking, but the word I was thinking of.
Yes.
So in the unofficial lore, Baxter and Sir Pentious were lab partners. I don't know if that's going to be the case in season 2 in the official canon, because we do know that Baxter knows of Sir Pentious, but he's all like, I don't want, like, don't talk to me about that garbage snake. That guy's a charlatan, like that kind of deal. When they showed a little bit of the animatics for season 2 when they introduced Baxter. Mm-hmm. So we know that Baxter knows of Sir Pentious, but we don't know if we're lab partners.
Yeah, we don't know if they have that kind of connection this time around.
Yeah, and the official one.
The official canon.
So also, Baxter even sabotaged Pentious' work just to be spiteful. Now his arrogance is unbearable and he can't handle criticism, even when his inventions blow up in his face. Literally. So despite all his bluster, Baxter is a total wimp when it comes to pain. He is easily intimidated. Like that one time, Octavia threatened to punch him over the coffee machine, and he practically ran away crying.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That's the end of the story.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah, Octavia tried to punch him. Threatened to punch him in the face.
Octavia tried to punch him in the face, and then he ran away crying.
Yeah. So oddly enough, over like a coffee machine or something.
A coffee machine.
Oddly enough, Baxter can be friendly and even heroic at times.
Okay.
No,
a little contradicting.
Yeah. Now, he abandoned Vaggy's team to save himself and Crimini, but later rescued them from danger.
Okay.
He kept in touch with Fergus during an 8-year time skip and protected 7 angels on his ship. You know Fergus, right?
Fergus?
Yeah, you know Fergus.
No.
You don't know Fergus?
I don't know Fergus.
You're a fake fan, Clara. What? You gotta know Fergus.
I don't know Fergus.
He's like the best character.
Okay, well now you're being facetious.
Okay, and so yeah, oddly enough, Baxter can be friendly. Oh, I already said that. He has a fun side too, playing brainy games like chess. And Baxter thinks it's illogical and a distraction from his work to have love. But ironically, he starts to warm up to Nifty and values his friendship with Sir Pentious, showing that even a mad scientist can have a soft side. Isn't that great, Clara?
Oh, so sweet.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about Baxter so far?
So far, Baxter... I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm seeing with the old canon, the
unofficial
the
lore.
unofficial lore. Thank you. He sounds honestly a little similar to Blitz.
Okay.
Yeah, just with the thinking like he's like the best one in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, Blitz thinks that he's a piece of shit.
You can't say that, Clara.
But it does, like, very early Blitz, before all of like the character development stuff started happening. Very like, I'll say whatever I want to say, and all of that sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen a character like Baxter a million times already.
Okay. Within Hazbin Hotel or in other media?
Within other media, and I think there are several characters within Hazbin Hotel that already have those sorts of archetypes.
Like Sir Pentious?
Yeah, like Sir Pentious, an inventor. Was he also a scaredy cat? I can't remember.
I don't think Sir Pentious was a scaredy cat.
No, because he was very like, I'm on the attack.
Yeah. I think the reason why Sir Pentious was, his whole deal was that he cared a lot about what other people thought.
Yes.
But Baxter sounds like he doesn't care at all.
Baxter sounds like he doesn't care at all, yeah.
Like in a bad way.
In a bad way, definitely. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, for me, it's really hard to judge a character just based off of this. Like, I'd have to see him in action.
So, also, we see some interactions with Helluva boss characters also.
Yes, that's right. We've got Octavia.
Mm-hmm. Octavia threatened to punch him.
Which, you go, girl.
Okay. So, yeah, Baxter is a distinctive anglerfish sinner with some truly striking features. Yeah, he's on the shorter side, just a bit taller than Nifty.
That's right.
Gray skin, has subtle blue-gray undertones.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 fin-like protrusions on the side of his head that look like ears.
Yes.
He has a unique trio of bioluminescent eyes.
Mm-hmm.
One set on his hair and the other 2 on his cheeks. So...
And let's not forget that lore.
Yeah.
Also, he's dressed like a mad scientist, because of course he is.
Yeah.
And that's his new design, by the way.
Not his old design?
No, that is his new design, fresh for the coming season.
For season 2?
For season 2. I'll maybe not fresh, because we have seen him in some previous Hazbin Hotel stuff.
Yeah. He made a couple of
he's
cameos
made a couple
in
of cameos 1. Where we kind of see him. I believe in season 1. Yes.
Yeah. And so his hair, or like scales that serve as hair, are royal blue with blue-gray streaks, giving him a sleek, swept-back look.
Yes.
Baxter's grin is like sharp, cyan-colored teeth and his mouth curling at the corners when he smiles.
I have to say, I do enjoy Baxter's color scheme.
The blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, blue is my favorite color, so.
So his eyes are like cyan sclera and coral pink irises framed by dark royal blue eyelids. Now, Baxter is almost always wearing what he insists are goggles, although they look like glasses, with coral pink frames and yellow lenses.
Yes.
So,
really struggling to talk today.
Yeah. When he's deep into his experiments, he switches to genuine goggles with black straps and cyan lenses. His typical attire is full-length gray laboratory suit adorned with yellow buttons, and he tops it all off with a small black hat with which his esca protrudes. Now, the esca has a yellow gradient light that allows for the dark with two cyan... Oh, wait. So the esca has two yellow gradient light that glows in the dark with two cyan stripes above it for a little extra flair. To complete his outfit, Baxter sports a wrist-length black lab gloves and sturdy boots, making him a truly memorable and unique character. Cloud, do you think he's a truly memorable or unique character?
Memorable? Yes.
Okay.
Unique? Maybe.
Okay. Because you say he sounds too much like Blitz.
Oh, if we're talking about, I was talking about
just his design,
like just design wise.
Okay.
Because he does have very Vox colors.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
Speaking of Vox,
and there are other fish people out there that kind of look like him. So.
Speaking of Vox, Vivsy did say that Vox is going to be like a major villain in season 2.
That is right.
Okay. So, let's talk about his powers. So we can...
Oh, but before we move on from the design aspect, because as I mentioned before, this is his new design. Previously, the reason why he was changed to look more memorable is because he looked incredibly similar to characters like Alistair. Previously, he was literally just like a guy. He had glasses, I think. I can't remember specifically. But he had like a sort of like bob cut, normal hair, suit. You know, he still had that sort of gray color scheme, but he literally just looked like a guy.
He's just like a human guy?
Just like a human guy. Maybe not human, because, you know, he was gray.
Okay.
And he still had like a similar color scheme, though more muted.
Okay.
But he was changed so that people wouldn't, you know, compare him to similarly designed characters. And I say that that was a really great decision, because I do like this new design of him.
I do as well.
Yes, let's continue now.
So, this is his. Let's go into his powers. So he can shift into a far more intimidating full demon form at will, and then effortlessly revert back to his normal demonic form, like everybody else.
Yes.
Now, as an undead soul, Baxter is immune to traditional death and lives eternally without aging, making him seemingly unkillable without divine intervention, like everybody else. So, Baxter's sinner's physiology allows him to withstand extreme punishment with little to no injury, even surviving violent chemical explosions that devastate his surroundings. Now, Baxter can generate a small electric charge around his face and gills when he gets excited, buzzing with electricity from his lower down to his head.
Cute.
Although his mechanical laughter... Through his mechanical laughter, Baxter has the ability to summon thunder and lightning. Hilarious, guy. Hilarious. Now, whenever he gets excited, Baxter can emit a small electric charge around his face and gills.
I think you said that already.
Oh, no, I looked over my notes again.
Oh, no.
Okay, so he created a device capable of emitting beams that target and vaporize all trash and debris in Pentagram City during community service. Clara.
Community service?
Yeah, he created a device capable of emitting beams that target and vaporize all trash and debris in Pentagram City.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Now, he was doing it for community service, yeah.
Yay! Community service!
Now, using specialized pads, Baxter can generate a small energy field around himself, protecting him from attacks.
You know what who Baxter reminds me of?
Who?
Megamind.
Okay.
Except more,
But like the new
mouthy.
Megamind, right?
No! Gross! Let's not talk about that. But more rude and, you know, saying bad words.
Right.
And maybe...
Like the new Megamind.
No! And obviously, Megamind isn't as, like, he actually, like, cares about some people, you know, like Minion.
It's not a common minion anymore, Clara. It's called Chum now.
I do not accept that.
Okay.
That is not what this podcast is about. Let's continue talking about Baxter.
Okay. Okay, so he uses the shield, right?
Yes.
He also can redirect attacks with 10 times the normal force, potentially neutralizing his attackers.
Amazing.
Now, during a battle with Tech's robots, you know Belfie Tech, right?
Stop asking me if I know things. I would like to say that while I am a fan of Hazbin Hotel
And the Helluverse.
and the Helluverse in general, I am not as prolific with the older stuff.
Okay.
I don't know as much about the decanonized things.
Lore?
I don't know.
Lore?
I don't know these characters that haven't been introduced yet. I only know some things. Like I knew about Crimini. I didn't know about Squish. Okay? I only know some things.
You didn't know about Fergus either.
I didn't know. No, I'm so sorry. I didn't know about Fergus. I'm so sorry.
But you knew about Baxter, though.
That I didn't. I knew about Baxter, okay? I'm sorry.
Okay. So anyway, during a battle with Belfie Tech's robots, Baxter uses his ability to create hundreds of holograms of himself, confusing the machines and buying time to hack them. Also equipped with devices on his ship and person, including his glasses, Baxter can analyze his surroundings and receive alerts about targets aiming at him, allowing him to strategize accordingly. Now, Baxter also has the ability to create life through his equipment and intellect. He has crafted sentient robots and grotesque monsters, the latter often escaping and causing chaos. He can manipulate matter, as demonstrated by breaking down and reassembling squish at a molecular level.
Horrible.
Now, while he was in purgatory, Baxter somehow managed to grow an entire planet through futuristic gardening process. Now, the details of which he keeps secret.
Who let this guy in purgatory?
Yeah, also there's a purgatory.
In the unofficial
lore. Of the Helluverse.
In the unofficial canon.
So, speaking of which, we should tell people to look out for our...
let's do that at the end.
Okay.
Let's do it at the end of the episode.
Okay. Now, in the... So, as an anglerfish sinner with gills, Baxter can remain underwater for extended periods of time, although he does eventually need to resurface for air, because he's kind of like a whale or something.
Because he's not full anglerfish, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are really his stuff. Oh, yeah, he also has a handheld device capable of quickly hacking and into almost any electrical system by injecting a powerful virus, allowing Baxter to control the targeted device. Now, it's potent enough to breach the systems of even super genius level inventions, such as those by Belphegor.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, Belphegor is the avatar of Sloth, which we have not been introduced yet in the Helluverse.
Have not met yet.
So he's supposed to be the leader of the Sloth Ring, but yeah, because we haven't seen him yet in the Helluverse.
Though I do believe that I don't know for sure. I don't know if it was ever confirmed. However, I think that we do get a glimpse at the Sloth Ring in the episode where Blitz takes Luna to the vet.
Right.
That's also the episode where Stolas is, captured by Stryker.
Right. And also, I don't the unofficial design of Belphegor. I don't know if Vivzi's going to keep this in the official canon, but the original design, as it stands now, Belphegor is supposed to be kind of like a HAL 9000 from like 2001.
Like a robot.
It's supposed to be like a robot AI.
AI.
Yeah.
That is interesting,
Yeah.
and not what I expected.
Yeah. Let me pull up his design. Oops.
Yes. Let's see this unofficial.
Yeah.
Design.
Hazbin Hotel.
Take a look-see. While that is happening, I'm going to continue to talk
Okay.
to fill up so we don't have any dead space.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, good.
Here he is. That's how he
Let's
looks.
see. Wow, that's really interesting. So it really is just like a panel screen with a sort of robot like lens eyeball.
Mm-hmm. He looks exactly like HAL 9000.
Exactly like HAL 9000
From 2001.
2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah. It also says Bell
Yeah,
666.
it says Bell 666,
Yeah.
which, ooh, the
Yeah.
evil number.
Yeah, and then here's like another. I think this is more of a fan design from the Hazbin Hotel Helluva Boss RP wiki.
Okay.
Which is how he looks.
Let's see here.
I think this is a fan design though. I'm not 100% sure.
That's hard to tell. I think it is. I think it might be a fan design. But it looks very cool.
Yeah. Do you prefer this one or the robot one?
Well, while the idea of a robot for Belphegor is very cool,
Mm-hmm.
personally, from like a design standpoint, I prefer the character version that might be fan made.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it is fan made
Because I like to look at. I like to look at things. It's
Yeah, I just looked up. I think this is a fan one because I looked up another character and it looks completely different from what the official one looks like.
Yeah.
So,
probably correct.
so
Probably
yeah,
fan.
so let's keep going.
Let's continue.
So he also has an invention that allows Baxter to fly and maneuver seamlessly through the air and even in space, providing him with impressive mobility.
Space.
Mm-hmm, they go to space.
Hazbin Hotel in space.
Don't think about it too much. So Baxter's primary weakness to his arrogance / carelessness. No, that's his weakness. His weakness is arrogance / carelessness.
Yeah, and maybe also it could probably include in that his cowardice.
I guess. Now, his approach to science is notably risky, relying heavily on trial and error method that often neglects critical details on his creations. Instead of a thorough planning and testing, he dives into experiments head first.
This man is not following
The scientific method.
the scientific method.
Do you remember what the scientific method is?
Yeah, hypothesis.
It's question.
Question, hypothesis, experiment, answer.
I think you
That's
skipped
it,
some.
right?
I think you
That's
skipped
it, right?
some.
It's those four things, right?
I think you skipped some, Clara.
Either way, he is not following it. He's going straight to experimentation.
Yeah, you just go straight to sort of like, okay, it is.
It's like he's like, I've got an idea. Goes for it.
Yeah, it is question, research, hypothesis, experiment, procedure, and then analysis and results.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Okay.
Answer, question, hypothesis.
That's it? That's a question,
Answer.
hypothesis? That's all you got?
Question, hypothesis. Answer.
Okay, so anyway. Yeah, so this recklessness often causes dangerous situations in his lab, such as violent explosions and equipment malfunctions. Despite his intelligence, Baxter's impulsive nature frequently results in chaos, requiring Crimini and his robotic servants to step in and mitigate the damage. Now, do you think Vivzy is going to include Crimini and Squish into season 2? Since she's including Baxter?
I don't know. I mean, I like Crimini's design that I've seen. Again, I don't know Squish.
Okay. Do you want me to show you Squish?
Yeah, show me Squish. But I think it would be interesting. I don't know. There's already quite a few characters, and with the amount of airtime, let me see. There's Squish. Oh, I do know Squish.
You do know Squish?
Yeah, I've seen Squish.
Okay.
That was I feel like he was in the pilot.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he showed up in the pilot. I think he got squished.
Okay. But he's back, and he's Baxter's.
But he's back and better than ever.
But he's back, and he's Baxter's as like a test subject or something.
I think that there's already quite a few characters, and with something like Hazbin Hotel that has such a short runtime, I don't know if you would want to introduce more right now. Maybe somewhere along the line, down the line, when other characters sort of disappear, you can bring in more. But, you don't want to oversaturate the story.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I do know that based on the animatics that was presented in Comic-Con, it looks like Baxter was by himself. It looks like he's doing solo, and he checked into the hotel solo. And it looks like kind of the storyline that Vivzy is going for is that Charlie views Baxter as Serpentious 2.0.
Well, that's going to be very interesting.
Since
Baxter is... Never mind. I don't even know what I was saying.
Yeah. But because at this time we don't know, she doesn't know that Serpentious ascended to heaven yet.
Yes, she doesn't know Serpentious has ascended.
Yeah. So...
she's not in the know.
Right. So, speaking of which, let's talk about Baxter and Serpentious.
Okay.
So they were once a mad scientist duo in Hell. So they worked together for years, and they created things like the Egg Boys and melting down angelic weapons to make their own deadly gadgets.
Oh my gosh. The Egg Boys.
Right.
That's their origin.
Yeah.
Non-canon, though.
Okay. But like most brilliant minds, their egos clashed.
Yeah.
Baxter claimed he ditched Pentious for being too unstable, but really they just couldn't stand each other.
Yeah.
Now Baxter even warned Angel Dust never to work with a partner, calling it the worst mistake of his afterlife. Now the rivalry kicked into high gear when Baxter accused Pentious of stealing his anti-exorcist security protocols. And from then on, every meeting between them was like a scene from a telenovela full of dramatic standoffs, biting insults, and endless bickering. Now, they constantly brought up their time as partners, each blaming each other for the fallout. Now, the feud hit a hilarious peak at Hell's annual Weapons Expo. Determined to outdo each other, they built the deadliest machines imaginable. Now, Vox made them compete in a showdown to the death for best creation. But both were more than ready to end each other's afterlives.
Of course.
But then Charlie and Vaggie stepped in just in time to stop the bloodshed. Now, as a result, they were both grudgingly invited to join the Hazbin Hotel, much to their mutual disgust. Which we all know that didn't happen.
Well, we all know that doesn't actually happen.
In the actual canon, Serpentious was hired by the V's to go spy on them, and then he
did a very bad job at it. Got caught immediately.
And then he actually checked in for real.
Yeah, he actually checked in for real because Charlie was like, "It starts with sorry."
Ding ding.
Ding ding.
Can we kill him? Can we maim him and spill his blood? Is that how the song goes?
No.
Yes, it is. This is how it goes.
I think you changed the tune a bit.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so the feud hit a peak at... Yeah, I already said that one.
You already said it.
So at
Come
the
on,
hotel-
Nathaniel.
At the hotel, the relationship did not improve. So
Surely not.
Baxter refused to accept Pentious accusing him of stealing ideas. Now, Vaggie and Charlie managed to broker a truce, but it was shaky at best. Baxter agreed to let Pentious stay if he went through the hotel's hazing rituals. By the way, the hotel has hazing rituals.
I'm glad they didn't keep that.
Okay.
Because
So,
hazing is terrible.
now,
Why
Pentious,
would you do that?
Pentious, struggling through the hazing, eventually became a maintenance technician
Wait a
alongside
second.
Baxter.
Wait a second.
What?
What's the hazing?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Did they? What? What kind of hazing would you do at the Hazbin Hotel?
I don't know.
You have to bake cookies.
No, they have to do bows and toes, and they have to do.
What's bows and toes?
It's like a very well-known hazing thing.
They have to run naked through hell.
You have to run naked
streets.
through hell streets. Yeah. Let me see. It is.
What about one of those like really old sorority hazing things where they have to like the newer ones have to dress as like babies,
I guess.
and the older ones have to like spank them with a paddle.
I guess they have to do the elephant walk.
The elephant
They
walk.
have to do the elephant walk.
What's the elephant walk?
That's another very well-known hazing ritual.
It's terrible. I'm so. Whoever does hazing out there, you're some sick people.
Oh yeah, let me look up what the elephant walk is.
I can't believe that Charlie would allow for that
Okay.
to happen.
So the elephant walk is when new members hold onto each other's hands or genitals
what?
in what became and then they just like walk around in a circle. That's the elephant walk.
That's so weird. What the? You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's move on.
So anyway, Pentious basically became the maintenance technician. So he
Nice.
in the unofficial lore, Pentious wasn't really a resident. He was a staff
An
member.
employee.
He was like a staff member, like Husk and
like
Nifty.
Husk and Nifty.
So, and Baxter was also hired as also a maintenance technician.
Oh, great! They have to work together again.
Yeah. So the clashes were legendary. Baxter made Pentious's life miserable with unrealistic demands, even forbidding him from fixing things while Baxter was busy with his own inventions. Now the situation exploded when Baxter tricked Pentious into thinking he could repair the VCR, only to secretly quote-unquote fix it himself, leading to an epic showdown involving mech suits and laser swords.
Wow.
Now, after their antics, they were sent to the friendship room, quote-unquote, to work things out.
The friendship room.
Also, there's a friendship room in the Hazbin Hotel,
The friendship room.
which the friendship room has yet to make an appearance in the Hazbin Hotel show.
Yes, in the actual Hazbin Hotel, we have not seen anything called the friendship room.
Yeah. So, when a gang threatened the hotel, they finally teamed up, Pentious and Baxter, using their
Oh, yeah.
combined genius to save the day. This experience rekindled their partnership, and they even shared a handshake, although they still kept things competitive, racing to fix the living room. Now, tragedy struck when Pentious was murdered by Rum. You know Rum, right?
No! I don't!
You don't know
Who is Rum?
And then he killed Pentious, even though that didn't happen in the original, in the actual
Who
official.
is this person that no longer exists?
Rum? I don't know. He's the guy who killed Pentious in the unofficial lore.
Yeah, why are you ragging on me?
So yeah, like in the unofficial lore, Pentious was killed by a guy named Rum, and we all know in the actual official canon, he sacrificed
himself.
And Adam killed him.
And Adam blasted him to heaven.
Back to heaven, yeah. Now, Baxter, surprisingly devastated, took on the role of second father to the Egg Boys and avenged Pentious by using his blessed death ray to slice off Rum's legs, letting the Egg Boys finish the job.
Good job, Egg Boys.
Yeah. So, let me look up Rum.
Yeah, I need to know this person who killed old Serpentius.
Oh, yeah, he was like a lizard guy.
Lizard Man.
This is him.
Wow.
Looks cool, right? That's
Sure.
Rum. That's rum for you.
That's very, very, very lizardy.
Okay. So, before the series kicked off, Baxter brought Crimini on board as his assistant and intern. We're talking about Crimini and Baxter now.
Yes. Okay.
Treating her like his personal ward.
Thank you for letting me know.
Mm-hmm.
His personal ward.
Mm-hmm. And so he hired Crimini as a like an intern.
Ah.
Now during their experiments, he would dramatically shout orders at her, much to her annoyance. Baxter liked to think that they had a great mentor-mentee relationship, though Crimini seemed less than thrilled. In their downtime, Baxter would challenge Crimini to games like chess, which, with her half-heartedly playing along with while scrolling through her phone, clearly not interested. Baxter, being the oblivious boss he is, either didn't notice or chose to ignore her lack of enthusiasm. He was oddly protective of her, too. Right, Clara?
Okay.
I lost my spot. No, I
You're
lost my
doing
spot in my
terrible.
notes. I'm doing
This is a
great.
terrible episode.
This is a great episode.
So bad.
Why is it bad?
Well, because you keep losing your notes, and honestly, I'm not saying much of anything important.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, okay, so he was protective of Crimini, right? Now when the Army of Darkness stormed his base, aiming to wipe out the hotel crew, Baxter didn't hesitate to prioritize his and Crimini's safety, leaving the others to fend for themselves. You know the Army of Darkness, right?
Oh yeah, I totally know the Army of Darkness.
Okay.
I haven't known so many of these other things. I definitely know the Army of Darkness.
Okay. Now, he planned to save them later, of course, but Crimini didn't seem too impressed by his heroic intentions. Baxter had a rather peculiar way of treating Crimini, almost like he was his pet.
That's not great.
He would reward her with animal carcasses, which she refused to eat, offer her bones and dog treats, and even gave her head pats like a dog.
Oh.
Even though she was a hyena.
She's a hyena.
Surprisingly, Crimini did initially see Baxter as a friend, even if she had a hard time showing it. When Fergus called Baxter a crackpot and questioned his sanity, Crimini got so irritated she threatened to turn the spaceship around and drop the hotel crew back off as Satan. Also, there's a spaceship.
I was about to say, I was like, when were we in a spaceship? I'm gonna turn this spaceship right around, young mister.
So, however, any warm feelings Crimini had for Baxter seemed to evaporate over time.
Yeah.
Now, she started seeing him as more of an insufferable and abusive boss, especially with Husk encouraging her to distance herself. So, the final straw came when Baxter ditched Crimini for his new assistant, Karen 2.0. Far from being upset, Crimini was relieved to be free from Baxter's overbearing antics.
Sounds like a classic abusive relationship.
Yeah, but he let her go.
But he let her go.
Yeah, thanks to Husk, I guess.
Thanks, Husk.
Why don't you just drop the act? That's how he talks.
Is that your Keith David impression?
That was my great Keith David impression.
Wow.
You probably know me from Smiley, starring Shane Dawson. What?
Don't. No.
He was in that movie.
I know he was, but why? He was in so many other things.
Okay, so let's talk about Squish. His relationship with Squish.
All right, let's talk about this little creature, Squish.
Now, he was more of a guinea pig, though.
Yes.
Now, their relationship was more like a mad scientist and his unfortunate Igor. Now, Baxter claims Squish happily signed up for the job, but Squish tells a different story.
Ooh.
One where he was forcibly recruited after Baxter mistook him for some new species. Baxter constantly subjected Squish to all sorts of experiments and even some good old-fashioned torture, using him as a test subject for his wild inventions.
Terrible.
Before they ended up at the Hazbin Hotel, Baxter even kept Squish in a bird cage until he needed him.
Wow!
And he often made him power devices by running on a hamster wheel.
There's no doubt about it.
Do you think he could
This
be
man
redeemed?
belongs in hell.
Well, he's there for a reason.
Well, yeah.
Even though he did all this stuff while he was already in hell.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you're doing all of that stuff, then, you know, there's a reason you're in hell, because you're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, and then, do you think he's redeemable?
Do I think he's redeemable right now?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, that's the whole thing. Charlie's supposed to redeem the irredeemable.
Yeah, they're supposed to redeem the irredeemable. So I guess he's a great candidate.
Yeah. I don't know how any of this is going to translate into the official canon.
No clue. But very interesting plot points right now.
So, yeah, the way he's treating Squish and the way he's treating Crimini doesn't seem to be very nice.
No, it's very bad, very toxic.
Now, Charlie and Vaggie quickly put a stop to Baxter's experiments on Squish, much to Baxter's annoyance.
Good.
So, with their protection, Squish finally got the courage to mock and taunt Baxter without fear of retaliation. Now,
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go, Squish.
Now, even though they're not exactly partners anymore, Squish still finds himself hanging around Baxter.
Ah.
But this time on a more equal footing, with Squish happily poking fun at Baxter's expense, knowing the mad scientist can't do anything about it.
Ah.
So, yeah. Let's talk about Fergus.
All right, Fergus.
Hazbin Hotel, everybody's favorite character, Fergus.
Everybody's favorite, most well-known character, Fergus.
Yeah. So, Baxter treated Fergus on the same quirky hospitality he extended to the rest of Vaggie's team, even letting him and Angel Dust have fun with the firearms in his lab's shooting range. So, for some reason, Baxter seemed to have a soft spot for Fergus, keeping tabs on him during the 8-year time skip. Also, there's an 8-year time skip.
Oh, good. An 8-year time skip.
He would constantly call Fergus via laptop just to check if he was still breathing. Fergus, however, didn't exactly share the love behind Baxter's back. He called him a crackpot and was visibly annoyed by the aimless stream of video calls. Still, even Fergus couldn't deny Baxter's intelligence. He just wished the mad scientist would give him a little more space. So, yeah. What do you think?
Sorry, honestly, I missed that last part. I was trying to look up Fergus.
You were trying to look up Fergus?
I was trying to figure out. I was like, Fergus! Who is this person?
They're saying a lot of stuff about Fergus.
Talking about Fergus a lot. I just found something that was somebody asking a question about who Fergus is.
Yeah, I know. Like, who is Fergus?
Who is Fergus?
I don't know, but he's mentioned a lot through the unofficial canon.
Mentioned a lot.
The unofficial lore.
Apparently. You're talking about Fergus all the time. So what happened at the end?
Oh, that Fergus just wishes that he would give him some space.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Baxter seems really insufferable.
According to this guy, Fergus is an ancient and powerful angel that was forced by Lucifer to help him in his war, and that was banished in hell and removed by his powers after his defeat. So that's what it was.
Interesting. Well.
And he was also, I believe, according to this guy, he was Angel Dust's boyfriend for a bit.
Oh. Good riddance.
You don't like Fergus anymore?
No! Husker Dusk all the way!
Oh my gosh.
Husker Dusk for the win!
No, I am Fergus
Husker Dust.
I'm Fergus Dust. Or what is it? What is the
Fergus Dust!
What is it?
What would the
Spider Angel or something.
Spider Angel?
Yeah, that's how the have you seen these ship names?
Ship names.
Yeah, like Radio Static and
all over the
and
place.
Rainbow Snake.
Who's this?
What?
Who's the Spider and Spider Angel?
Yeah, Spider is Angel Dust.
Angel Dust and
Angel is Fergus.
Is Fergus.
Anyway, I'm for Fergus Dust. I'm shipping Angel Dust with a character that isn't even official.
all of my Fergus Dust shippers out there, where you at? Stand up.
Yeah.
Sound out in the comments.
It's gonna be like team like an Edward and Jacob.
Yeah.
Where it's like Team Husk. And
Radio Dust, forget it.
So weird ship, but I mean,
Yeah.
Vivsy said that you can ship anyone with anyone.
Yeah.
so
But that's usually the one that people go. They're like Husker dust, no radio dust. Forget it, Fergus dust.
Okay.
Fergus dust.
So Baxter and Nifty share. No, we're talking about Nifty now.
Yes. Okay.
Which, if-
Moving forward onto Nifty and their relationship.
Now, out of anything, I think this is the most likely that's going to come into the official canon.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see more of Nifty.
Mm-hmm. Now, Baxter and Nifty share one of the quirkiest friendships in Hell.
Yes.
Now, Nifty is practically glued to Baxter's side, helping him with every little thing in his afterlife. She's head over heels for him, constantly seeks his attention, but Baxter...
I guess he's a bad boy.
Okay. Baxter, being more obsessed with his inventions than anything else, mostly just doesn't notice.
Oh my gosh, that's so Isabella and Ferb coded.
You mean Isabella and Phineas?
Phineas, sorry, not Ferb.
Ferb is with
Ferb is with
Veronica.
Veronica. I thought it was Vanessa.
Vanessa, yeah. So he even insulted her looks first time they met, hoping to put her off, but Nifty wasn't fazed. She kept
because
up,
he's a bad boy.
Yeah, she kept up her cheerful pursuit, determined to win him over. Now, Nifty has a habit of glomping Baxter with excitement and keeps his galaxy light spotless.
Glomping.
Yeah. She even brings him coffee, trying to get on his good side. She's so eager to please that she agrees to whatever he asks, even letting him experiment on her.
That's not good.
She praises everything he does, no matter how half-baked his ideas might be.
And that is not good for his ego.
Yeah. Eventually, Baxter started to appreciate Nifty, especially when she used her speed to clean the inside of his dimension portal.
Oh, nice.
So, he also admits to liking her artwork and enjoys her cooking. Once, when she kissed him on the cheek, he blushed and hissed like a startled cat.
Ooh.
Baxter isn't above joking with her, though. He once jokingly threatened to remove her uterus if she got too close.
Wow.
And he's had his robots toss her out of the lab more than once. In one bizarre incident, Baxter was suffering from a severe headache after Serpentius joined the hotel. Nifty offered to help by giving him a brain massage, which is literally massaging his exposed brain. And it's as awkward as it sounds.
Yeah, that sounds nasty.
Yeah, okay. Strangely enough, Baxter found himself developing a soft spot for her, despite claiming his brain was screaming at him to flee. He humorously chalked it up to a kind of Stockholm syndrome. So,
they're both terrible for each other, which is why it's great.
now I think, out of all this, I think that's most likely going to end up in the official canon, like a romantic relationship between Baxter and Nifty.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a fun time.
I think Bivsy made some sketches,
Ooh,
like of Baxter and Nifty together.
adorable.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yes, I need to see. This is my new favorite chip.
Baxter and
Baxter and Nifty.
What's their
Bifty.
No, it has to be something like
Bafty.
It has to be like fish eye or something like that.
Fish eye.
Fish clops or something.
I'm one of those. I like to do the whole name combination
Mhm.
thing. That's what I like. So I will be calling them Bafty.
Okay. Okay, here it is. This is them.
That's so cute. They're drinking from a milkshake from Two Straws, and he looks very much like he doesn't want to be there. And Nifty is like, "Ee."
Okay.
What? I'm just explaining to the people who can't see.
I like how angry he looks.
He looks so upset. It's so cute.
Okay. So let's talk about him and this other character named. Let's talk about him and Belphegor,
Okay, Belphegor.
which is his ultimate nemesis.
Yes. And this is Robot Belphegor, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the one that the unofficial lore
The
Belphegor.
unofficial canon Belphegor.
As of right now, there is no official Belphegor.
Yes.
So, their first run-in happened when Baxter and his crew ventured off to the Sloth Ring to help Lugnut and Claptrap save some angel kids. You know Lugnut and Claptrap.
I do not know who they are. I feel like the people who are listening to this podcast are going to get really annoyed
No.
with the fact that you keep asking me if I know somebody and me responding, I don't know.
Sorry.
I think it's going to be very repetitive.
Okay.
So if we could just continue forward without you asking me if I know characters, that'd be great.
Okay.
The answer is no.
It's kind of funny because Belphegor in actual demonology is always depicted as on the toilet.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny.
Is it kind of funny?
I think so.
Is it? Do you think it's funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I just don't see how that has anything to do with what we're talking about.
We're talking
right
about Belphegor right now.
Yeah, we're talking about Belphegor right now, but the Helluva boss.
Yeah. So anyway,
Version.
so at
Who
first,
cannot go onto the toilet because he's a robot.
yeah. So at first, Belphegor didn't think much of Baxter, but when Baxter hacked into Belphegor's robots and strolled into the ring beyond pride, like it was no big deal, Belphegor couldn't help but take notice. Impressed by Baxter's smarts, Belphegor decided he wanted Baxter and Crimini as his brainy minions. Now, after another character named Karen bit the dust, Belphegor, feeling pretty lonely, decided to take back control of Pluto and blow up the Hazbin Hotel as punishment for Baxter's defiance.
The planet Pluto?
I don't know.
Is that how we end up in space?
I guess. But Pluto is like an acronym or something.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. Now, Baxter, always up for the challenge, set Nifty and Crimini to find Manco while he set out to personally deal with the King of Sloth.
Nice.
You know Manco.
No!
So armed with 5 EMP bombs and a genius plan involving a car door and the tower's drone defenses, Baxter made his move. The plan worked like a charm. The EMP bombs left Belphegor's bionic body a wreck. And though Belphegor narrowly survived the explosion, his victory was short-lived, and he completely blew up soon after.
Wow.
Now, Baxter's actions threw the sloth ring into chaos. All of Belphatec's machines shut down, leaving the denizens in a confused panic. Now, the Hellhounds, freed from the shock collars, finally revolted and reclaimed their home.
Hooray!
Now, a month later, in the dramatic final showdown, Belphegor popped up again, having survived the EMP blasts thanks to his thousands of backup servers.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, while Belphegor was busy monologuing about his next big plans, Baxter pulled a sneaky move, escaping through the vents and finding a lab where Karen was created. There, he whipped up Karen 2.0. In their last interaction, Belphegor was busy gloating about his supposed victory as Baxter teamed up with Blitz, tried to make their escape.
Blitz?
Yeah. So he teamed up with Blitz
Whoa!
to make their escape from Belphegor.
Oh my gosh, cameo!
Okay. Ironically, Baxter didn't stick around to witness Belphegor's final defeat and death, leaving the grand finale as their epic rivalry somewhat anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So him and Blitz defeated Belphegor. Do you think we're going to see that?
I certainly wasn't expecting Blitz to show up.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Probably not.
Do you think we're going to see Belphegor in season 2?
I don't know. I mean, with the introduction of Baxter, hey, maybe.
Yeah, because seems like the introduction of Baxter seems to be like paving the way for other characters within this unofficial lore.
Yes.
To find his way.
I do think it would be interesting for Belphegor to still be like an AI, though I think it would be nicer if he had like a robot body as opposed to the whole HAL 9000 look.
Yeah. So, do you think Vivzy will ever introduce Fergus?
I really don't know. Considering the fact that I haven't seen like any art of Fergus at all, I'm not sure how important that character is to like her and the new plot.
It seems to me in the unofficial lore he's very important.
It seems like he's very important in the unofficial lore. However, he seems to have been veritably forgotten.
Yeah.
with, all of the new stuff that's coming out.
So much so that it doesn't even have a design.
So much so he doesn't even have a design, and people are confused as to who Fergus is.
Yeah. You're like, who's this Fergus
Who
guy?
is this
He's all
Fergus
over the
that
place.
keeps being mentioned?
So let's talk about Baxter's relationship with Charlie.
Okay.
So their relationships are like oil and water. And so Baxter, ever the respectful mad scientist, addresses Charlie as the Princess of Hell. But that's where the pleasantries end.
Yeah.
He gets massively frustrated when Charlie stops him from experimenting on the hotel's staff and guests, or from cooking up new monsters in his lab. He insists her rules are dragging them all back to the Stone Age, or as he likes to exaggerate, the Cretaceous Age.
The Cretaceous period.
Yeah. Charlie, with her unintentional knack for riling him up, often ends up on Baxter's nerves. She denies him permission for his risky experiments, refuses to give him a gold star for the hotel's community service, because, surprise, surprise, using inventions to cheat doesn't count. Remember that gun that he used?
Yeah, I remember the gun that he used.
So
that was cheating.
It was cheating because Charlie refused to give him a gold star.
So no gold star for him, which must have been a massive blow to his ego.
Mm-hmm. Now, even though Serpentius was trying to be good, Baxter saw this as a betrayal. To him, she's like sabotaging his genius at every turn, and he never misses a chance to argue that her decisions are a total buzzkill for scientific progress, which might translate into the new season.
Maybe.
Based on his relationship between Charlie and him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about his relationship with Vaggie. Now, their first encounter was a real meet cute, if you consider being attacked by robot minions cute.
So funny.
Thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
Vaggie and her crew stumbled into Baxter's lab, and his bots went into attack mode. But once Vaggie clarified that they were just looking for help, Baxter got so excited he practically chomped on her, hugging her like an old friend and inviting the whole group to stay.
Yeah, to stay and become experiments.
Mm-hmm. Vaggie, however, quickly got weirded out by Baxter's over-the-top affection, which makes sense.
Yeah, obviously. That's suspicious as heck.
Mm-hmm. He had a habit of invading personal space and once even insisted that she and Husk sleep in his bed.
That's very weird. Oh, how eccentric.
Hey, Husk, Vaggie, why don't we sleep in the same bed together?
Hey, you two new people here, welcome, sleep in my bed with me.
Why Husk
Save
and Vaggie?
Save space!
Why Husk and Vaggie?
I don't know, probably maybe they were the most interesting to him,
What
so he
if-
wanted to keep them close by.
What an interesting threesome concept.
I would rather not think about that, no.
Okay. So, yeah. And also they couldn't exactly do that because Baxter's bright lure kept on keeping them awake.
Yeah.
Now, as Baxter settled into his role at the hotel, Vaggie recognized him as a capable scientist and a valuable member of the team, mainly because he kept the place from falling apart. Still, she kept a close eye on him, making sure he didn't start experimenting on the staff or Charlie's Angels. Also, there's a group of angels known as Charlie's Angels.
Wow, is there really?
Mm-hmm. Now, Baxter, for his part, had a healthy mix of respect and fear for Vaggie, often following her lead because, let's face it, she can be pretty intimidating when she wants to be. Now, we might
That's
also
for sure.
touch on, give these other characters from the unofficial lore its own episode. We could probably talk about Charlie's Angels in more detail in another episode.
Sure.
Because I'm interested to learn about Charlie's Angels.
Definitely interesting to look into these older characters that have yet to be introduced, or perhaps will never be introduced.
Yeah. Let's talk about his relationship with Alistair.
Okay.
So, Alistair and Baxter have the oddest dynamics in the hotel.
All right.
So, Alistair seems to have an intense disdain for Baxter, but the reason is a complete mystery. While Baxter mostly brushes off Alistair's presence, the radio demon never misses an opportunity to belittle and mock him. Alistair's taunts are a mix of passive-aggressive jabs and outright mockery, all without a hint of explanation. Whenever Baxter tries to confront him about the constant jabs, Alistair just laughs, teleports away, and leaves Baxter hanging. It's like a magic trick where the punchline is Baxter's confusion. So no one knows exactly why Alistair dislikes him so much. Maybe it's because of all the stuff he did. No.
But why? Because Alistair's done a bunch of stuff himself.
Yeah, I guess. So
maybe he draws the line at scientific experimentation, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's a, serial killer cannibal.
Yeah. So people think it might have been due to his insufferable arrogance, but maybe there's a deeper reason or something. Either way, Baxter never said. Alistair never said. Now Baxter and Husk, right?
Okay.
Have a kind of relationship you'd expect from a cat and a scientist who can't leave well enough alone. Husk loves to tease Baxter, calling him names like Egghead and Poindexter.
Well,
with as much
kind of lame.
with as much sass as he can muster. On the flip side, Baxter is you're an egghead, baby, egghead, baby. That's not as catchy.
It's not as catchy.
Okay. So yeah, on the flip side, Baxter is obsessed with figuring out how much cat DNA is mixed into Husk's grumpy persona.
This is very interesting.
Like in a good way?
I mean, it's interesting how Baxter is like, DNA experimentation, whatever. But these guys are dead. They don't have any more DNA.
Yeah, I know. Why does he care about what the cat
So
DNA?
why does he... How can these experiments happen?
Right.
How can he figure that out? Because they're not actually that's just what their souls look like. It's not their actual DNA.
Right. So yeah, on the flick side, so he's constantly trying to examine Husk, probably hoping he can unlock the secrets of the ultimate catnap. Did you like that joke?
No, that sounds like it was written by AI.
Oh. Anyway, Husk naturally wants nothing to do with Baxter's scientific curiosity, and does his best to avoid him. So he even goes so far as to warn Crimini to steer clear of Baxter, seeing him as a bad influence. It's like a never-ending game of cat and mouse, except the cat's too grumpy to play and the mouse is armed with lab equipment and an insatiable curiosity.
Wow.
So that's pretty much the story of Baxter in terms of the unofficial lore.
In terms of the unofficial lore.
What do you think about Baxter?
I think Baxter is a character that'll probably grow on me. I think right now, to me, he's kind of just some being floating in my mind. I can't really base anything off of the unofficial canon because it's unofficial. I really like the design. I'm very excited and interested to see how the character will be translated from the original concept into what he's going to be now. So, yeah.
I think that Vivzy should kind of water his character down a little bit if she wants him to be any bit likable at all. Because the way he stands in the unofficial lore, he seems to be a really bad guy.
He seems like the thing about who we've seen so far as to who is in the hotel and who's accepted into the hotel. Obviously, everyone is welcome in the hotel. That's the whole thing. But the idea is that the people who enter the hotel check in because they want to change or something like that. I know Angel checks in because it's a way to be away from Valentino.
And Serpentius did it.
And Serpentius does it
accident.
And Serpentius joins for real because he is moved by Charlie's kindness.
I don't know Vaggie did it. Joined Liz because she's his girlfriend.
Vaggie joins because she's the girlfriend, yeah.
And Husk and Nifty there is because Alistair made them.
Because Alistair has made them.
Yeah.
Right now, to to me, it would make no sense for this character to join the hotel unless he was forced to.
I think that's what happened in the unofficial lore.
Yeah, that's what happened, as well as Serpentius. I don't know how that will work for the actual show.
I actually do know, because she did say why Baxter joined.
What did she say?
Well, in the animatics, it is implied.
I know that you said that it is implied that he checks in.
He checks in by himself, and it is shown that the reason why he checks into the hotel is because he wants to study the concept of redemption within the hotel.
See, that makes sense for his character. Yeah. I think the thing about the fact that this show takes place in hell is that there are going to be truly awful characters because it's hell. These are bad people. But the whole point is that bad people can change. People have, even in death, they have the ability to change and grow. It's a concept that we've seen in shows like A Good Place. The idea that you can continue to improve even in the afterlife. And that is why a system like, heaven, hell, being separate like that, that's why a system like that doesn't work. Because there's always an opportunity for growth. That's what obviously these are just concepts of fiction because we don't know what the afterlife is really like for certain.
So, like, as it stands in the fiction, I think Vivzy is doing the right job by kind of watering Baxter down a bit, because he he's very abusive towards Crimini and Squish in a way that people don't want to talk to him, and so I think him being solo is better.
I think probably.
And him thinking like, oh, Serpentius, he's a charlatan and all that kind of stuff.
It's a good thing that him and Serpentius aren't together.
Yeah,
they're separated.
Now we don't know if they were lab partners at one point. They might have been.
That could be something that's still kept.
Yeah. So what part...
And could be a very interesting point of, like, growth and argument between everybody and him. Him being like, oh, Serpentius was, like, a stupid charlatan, blah, blah, blah. And then them being like, he sacrificed his life for us,
and he's a stupid charlatan. Why is there a giant portrait?
Of him? I gotta see this guy's face every day!
And, so, like, what parts of the unofficial lore do you want pulled and applied into the official canon?
Okay. I'd say backstory, nix it completely.
Okay.
Completely change the fact that he is a clone experimentation.
Yeah, I think that was really dumb.
I think that is... Oh, I wouldn't say dumb.
I didn't like it.
But I think that is... It crops up more inconsistencies. In, like, well, how does a clone go to hell? And so he's actually, for real, part anglerfish, so his soul is anglerfish? What? It's confusing. Just make him a regular science guy. Maybe he was a marine biologist.
Yeah, a regular Bill Nye science guy?
Yes, exactly. A marine biologist who did some questionable things. And that's why he's in hell.
We can keep him being like a massive egomaniac.
I think
in life.
absolutely keep him being a massive egomaniac. That's a really good point to start for him, and then to see his growth into being less of an egomaniac.
Yeah, and that there's more to life than just experiments.
Yes, there's more than just science.
And like experimenting very unethically.
Yes.
And learning about like ethics within the scientific community.
Yes.
I do think that what should be pulled from is, I would say, definitely bring back Fergus. Bring back Fergus.
Bring back Fergus. Where is he?
Yeah. So, like, I was going to say, bring his relationship between him and Nifty.
Yes.
I think that would be great.
I want to see it. I think it'd be really cute in a terribly bad, toxic way.
And they can also help each other grow.
And they can help each other grow.
I do like the relationship portrayed between him and Charlie in the unofficial lore about Charlie
Yes.
being all like, you can't do that, and him being all like, oh, you're just holding me back.
You're holding me back. The scientific community will suffer.
Yeah, and that could be a good starting point for his arc between
Yes.
Herm and Charlie, and then he can, like, at the end of season 2, he could be like, oh, like, I see what you're coming from.
I see now.
I see where you're coming from, Charlie.
I
I
shouldn't.
am now gonna be.
I will now
in
ascend
heaven.
to heaven.
I'll now ascend to heaven.
You're right, Charlie. I shouldn't experiment on unwilling participants.
Yeah. Do you think we already talked about Belphegor, but what about Rum? Should we have Rob?
I don't care about Rum.
Okay. The thing about because the whole concept about Serpentius being murdered by Rum, and then Baxter showing that he actually really cared for Serpentius by going out and getting revenge on him, and then also wearing his hat, his top hat.
Yeah.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, that
because
can't happen anymore.
They don't know. Serpentis died in
Ascended to
the
heaven.
great battle.
Yeah, and then ascended to heaven.
Descended to heaven.
No.
Yes, ascended to heaven.
Yeah, and he can sacrifice himself. Yeah,
Sacrifice.
because there's no greater sacrifice than laying down your life for one's friends.
For one's friends.
Yeah. So, there's no greater love than sacrificing yourself for one's friends. So that's the Bible verse.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the entire concept of Baxter.
That's
Do we want to say about our thing?
Yes, okay. So, first off, before we do this little announcement, thank you so much for listening to this episode all about Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
Before we close off, we would like to talk a little bit about stuff that we're doing creatively that is related to the fandom. Me and Nathaniel are working on releasing a fan-made comic called Hazbin Hotel, the Purgatory Division.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and go a little bit into that concept.
Yeah, I mean,
Before we
it's
close
a
off.
show that I've been working on ever since the show came out in January, and I've been working on it for like months.
We've been working on it together, refining the
I've been writing the story for like months.
refining the story. Yes.
Yeah, from like when did we lock the script? It was like
I don't remember.
It was like a couple months ago.
It was a little bit ago.
And we've been working on it pretty like on and off, and we're finally getting started on the first pages.
Yes.
The first couple pages.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what the contents of the comic are?
Yeah, it's supposed to be introducing the concept of purgatory within the Helluverse, and basically Charlie stumbles upon purgatory and then recruits 4 purgatory souls to join the Hazbin Hotel as the purgatory division, as they kind of conflict with the Hell staff and Heaven's bureaucracy.
That's right.
And that's pretty much the story.
Yeah, and I think it's a really interesting story. So in the next couple months, maybe I'd say, we're going to start releasing chapters for that. So be on the lookout. We're going to keep promoting it. And when it does come out, we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, hope so. So yeah, I've been Nathaniel Avila.
And I have been Clara Avila.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, the kingdom, evil exists, and many more.